Losing body fat fast is insanely easy, and there's a million different things that you could do that might work to help you lose body fat, but there's one thing that works 100%, and if you miss that one thing, you're probably always gonna struggle to lose the body fat that you want. And in this video, not only am I gonna share what that one meal plan is, but I'm also gonna break down how to apply it to your life, and then give you 4 of the most likely strategies to help you keep that fat off forever. And if you don't know who I am, which of course you don't, my name's Kyle Fields. I own gyms in New York City called the Fort, and I went from being a pretty chubby, out of shape lawyer to in 3 months, a Wilhelmina fitness model who was in over 100 issues of Men's Health. I know, holy shit. And because of that, I was able to become a personal trainer. I was able to work in this celebrity fitness gym in New York City and completely change my life. And it's my mission today to show you exactly what I did so that you can apply it to your own life. Let's get started. Because let's be honest, if you're watching this video, you probably already know what to eat. You know that pizza isn't a vegetable. You know what a macro is. You've got a picture of that celery juice guy's picture in the middle of the dartboard, and it's seen some action. This isn't about what to eat, but how to eat. Because while you've been bombarded with information about protein requirements and nutrition timing and the benefits of 5 grams of creatine versus 10 grams of creatine, spoiler alert, there isn't much. You don't know how to get yourself set up for success, and that's not fair. It's like someone handing you a scalpel and saying, you know where the heart is, go fix it. And no, this isn't advice from the 1970s about chewing your food 1,000 times before you swallow it, or snapping a rubber band against your wrist every time you think about eating an entire can of Pringles. Though honestly, that might not be a bad idea. Most people don't struggle knowing what to eat. They struggle with implementing strategies so they can stick with it day in and day out, because honestly, sticking with it is the only way it's gonna work. I know, it's a bummer, but it's also true. Walk with me. We need something in the background here. Test, test, test. So I'm gonna save myself a long journey down the comment section and show you the basics on how to create a meal plan to lose fat fast, and not that you asked for it, keep it off. First thing to figure out is how much fat you want to lose. First step is to figure out how much weight you want to lose. If it's up to 20 pounds, so we'll say 20 pounds or less, what you're gonna do is take your target weight, so let's say your target weight's 150 target. We're gonna take that number, we're gonna multiply it times 11, and that equals 1650. Now, this is your target calorie count for the day. And if you wanna lose more than 20 pounds, what you're gonna do is take your current weight. Now, if you wanna lose more than 20 pounds, just take your current weight, so let's say you're 200, subtract 20, 180, and then you're gonna multiply that times 11, and that's gonna equal 1910. And this is gonna be your first step to greater weight loss, so you can adjust that number after you get those first 20 pounds off. All right, great. So now we have our target set up, 1650 cals. Next, we want to figure out how much protein that we should be eating of those 1615 calories. So what you're going to do then is take that 150 number, which is your target weight, and then we're going to multiply that by 4. That's going to equal 600 calories of protein. Don't worry about it, that's fine. And right about now you're thinking, Kyle, I flunked math class and you're really pushing my limits here. Well, you're the one who clicked on the video on how to lose fat fast, not how to lose fat without doing math. So keep up. But good news, we're almost done with the math. So now we're gonna take that 1650, we're gonna subtract the 600. So 1650 minus 600, and that equals 1050 calories. And you can apply those 1050 calories to any carbs or fats or any way you see fit. You're welcome. You know how many calories that you need to eat? How many of those calories need to be protein, and how many are left over for rice and olive oil and avocados and all those other non-protein foods? But like we talked about way back in the beginning of this video, before I tried to turn you into a human calculator, is that knowing what to eat isn't the issue. No, your problem is, one, perfecting the perfect method for cutting the sleeves off your t-shirt, and two, figuring out how to stick with these numbers that we worked so hard to come up with so you can actually lose fat fast. And three, figure out like how to hook this up to where you can drive around in cars without a driver, because this is wild. I don't know if you can see this. There's not even a driver here. It's a fully autonomous vehicle. I'm not even driving. This is wild. We're in the future. So let's get into it. The 4 strategies that will help you lose fat without losing your mind. Section 1, tracking. Now, it was either Bill Gates or Kierkegaard or Bugs Bunny who originally said, what gets measured gets managed. And regardless of who came up with this pearl, they were absolutely right. Because we just went through all the trouble of getting your protein and your calories and your macros all figured out. And if you have no way of tracking it, you have no way of actually knowing if you're doing it. And eating to plan is kind of like sex, like doing it is the most important part. So get a tracking app, like LifeSum, which I personally like, or MyFitnessPal, which is a really popular one. Just make sure that you can track your total calories and your protein consumption for each day, and you'll be set. Research shows that out of every single dietary intervention, calories in, calories out, vegan, keto, intermittent fasting, low carb, whatever, tracking your intake was the most beneficial and led to the best outcomes. And no, I'm not going to link to the research in the description because it's a pain in the ass and you're not going to read it anyway. So you're just going to have to trust me on this one. Now, the bad news is that tracking is a real pain in the ass, at least at first, but after you get the hang of it, it becomes really intuitive and it takes you about 5 minutes a day to get it done, which is really about the same amount of time that you would spend getting your icing perfectly spread on your morning toaster strudels.
With 25% more icing, add a little fun with a Doughboy.
Strategy number 2, start resistance training. Not what you were thinking for number 2, because yeah, it burns some calories, but really it makes you more hungry and contributes to weight gain. So why strength training?
Explain yourself.
First off, I appreciate the analytical thinking here. Nice job. And secondly, you're not wrong. Strength training actually sets off a whole cascade of effects that makes it much easier to control your diet. I mean, from hormone regulation, discipline, a feeling of well-being, all makes the likelihood of binge eating ho-hos and watching Bachelor of Paradise a much lower likelihood.
I'm sorry.
Weight training is what I like to call a keystone habit. So if you get that right, a lot of other body positive effects start falling into place like dominoes. Lastly, the strength training is going to make you look much better, like probably a lot closer to what you're envisioning, you know, as the fat comes off. I mean, who wants to get to the end of a diet and look like the Pillsbury Doughboy, all squishy and pale and that annoying giggle? Yeah. Back there with silly. All right, we're moving on to section 3, which I like to call the proximity defense. So up until this point, we've talked a lot about how much to eat, how many calories, how much protein, but not so much about what you actually should eat. And that's for good reason, because like I said back at the beginning of this video, you know what to eat. But just as much as the numbers matter, the types of foods also matter. So you're gonna wanna get your food from the most nutrient-dense sources as possible, like some wonderful salmon, and you're gonna wanna avoid, for lack of a better term, what I call the bullshit. Bullshit, 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 bullshit. It's bullshit. 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 Bullshit, 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 bullshit. Pretty much everything in this aisle is bullshit. If it's like corn dog, french fries, fast food stuff, bullshit. Not bullshit. Not bullshit. Not bullshit, but also not food. And the best way to avoid the bullshit is by implementing what I like to call the proximity defense, which is really just a fancy 2-year degree way of saying that if you don't have the bullshit near you, you're not gonna eat it. Don't rely on your willpower. Rely on the fact that you'll be too lazy to get in your car in the rain at 10 p.m. and go grab that 3-pack of Krispy Kremes. However, if those Krispy Kremes were sitting on what you've deemed the forbidden zone above your refrigerator, you'll break the rules and enter the forbidden zone faster than that bald guy on Law & Order loses his temper and forgets he's actually an on-duty detective. You want to know how your coworker who lost 20 pounds intermittent fasting actually got it to work? No, there's not actually any magical powers. There's tons of research on this. It forced them to eat at certain times and not break the rules. And regardless of what your angsty teenager who wears goth makeup and sits under a backlight scrolling TikTok videos all day tells you, people do really well with rules. So, you want to take the time to set the rules. To set the rules for yourself that dictate when you will eat. You want to break up your calorie and macro requirements into 4 meals, which is a really good strategy, by the way. Have 1 meal an hour after waking up. Another after that 11 a.m. dreadful status update meeting that Janice from HR makes you attend every day. One at 4 p.m. when you swear to God you will kill someone if you have to look at this spreadsheet for another 5 minutes. And one finally at 7 p.m. when you're home with your wife and your kids and they can't tell you about how their day was because they're staring off into the void, not eating their spinach. You know, it really doesn't matter what your setup is. What matters is whether you'll actually stick to it. Look, the more you can become a robot about what you eat and when you eat and how much you eat, not only will that help you lose fat really fast, but it'll free up your mind so that you have more, mental bandwidth to think about politics or your relationship with your parents.
Eat your goddamn food!
Damn, bro.
Eat your food!
You know what? On second thought, don't worry about thinking. Just, eat your meals on time and just focus on that delicious taste of chicken, rice, and beans, and salsa, and salt. I mean, did you see what I made over here? It's awesome. This meal is awesome. Are these the only strategies that are going to help you lose body fat? No. Could I give you 4 more right now? Yes, and maybe I'll do a part 2 if you're nice to me in the comments. But for now, calculate your macros. Get a tracking app and figure out how it works. Start strength training. Get rid of all the bullshit in your house. No, not him. Not him. He can stay. Check out your calendar and figure out when you're going to eat all of this delicious and nutritious food. And if you found this video useful at all, click on this link because YouTube thinks that you will really enjoy it. And if we've learned anything from doing all of this, it's that YouTube knows best. So click on the video. I'll see you there.